Voluntarily.
Oh, I heard something.
Oh, here we go.
Here it goes. So we're in Westmoreland, New Hampshire, and John, our friend and member of the Scumbria crew, there he is. See him? He is the, I'm gonna cross the road without getting hit. He is the clock winder and takes care of the clock tower. See the clock tower up there? For the town of Westmoreland, New Hampshire. So we're gonna follow him today for a few minutes. He's gonna show us his duties as the Westmoreland clock winder.
So we're gonna go inside, wind the clock today. We'll show you some of the little history of the town, some of the cool things up there. We'll take a look at the bell. We're coming up on 2 o'clock, so we'll get the 2 o'clock strike, and maybe you'll get some views from the clock tower.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. This is the top of one pulley, and then this one just has a single, and there's a pulley down at the bottom of the weight. This is the chase way. It goes all the way from we're about the top of the 4th floor all the way down to the basement. And this is what this one powers the bells, and this one here powers the...
So for you, those of you who haven't caught on, John moved to this small town, and now he's their clock winder? I don't really know how to explain it.
Just another day coming up to wind the clock. Hey, Scumbria.
Huh. There's the guts of this thing. There's the little clock. You want to explain this, John, so I'm not just saying things like guts and clock?
This is just a clock, reference clock on the clock itself, so that when you're setting the time, you could set it to that. This arm here, you'll see in a second, is used for winding the clock mechanism. And this one here is for winding, this goes on this big cable, for winding the bell.
This is the bell wheel, the cable that controls the bell.
Yep.
That's how you wind it with this sucker.
Yep. Oh, and did you hear that click?
Yeah.
So that click, it just released, and it set it. So on this teeth, see how there's 2 teeth there?
Yeah.
So allow 2 teeth because we're coming up on 2 o'clock in 15 minutes for a 2 strike on the bell.
Why were we not here at 2 o'clock?
We will be here at 2 o'clock if we wait 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. So
we'll just have to crank real slowly. So this one is the one that takes all the energy.
Here we go.
Paint, I painted on the cable coming up. Paint.
There's the paint. You see it on the cable, that little bit of red? Okay. Yeah. So that just brought that you just wound up a weight from what? The basement?
From the basement.
So we just wound up the weight that drives the bell.
The bell. Yep.
Okay. Now and then the rest. This mechanism here is the clock. Ready? This way?
I think so.
You good?
Yep.
Oh! When do I stop?
Of course, Matt took the easy one. Whoa! Oh! That's it. Right there is the double paint marks so that you don't overwind, because if you overwind, what happens is what they told me the last bell or clock keeper did. He overwound, then he pulled the weight right off and it fell all the way down to the basement.
The info on this thing, just so you guys know, if you've never, it says, I can't read that, it says presented to the town of Westmoreland, New Hampshire by William H. Porter or Proctor?
Proctor.
William H. Proctor, and the clock itself is made by Seth Thomas Clock Company, Thompson, Connecticut, USA. It is number 2013, and it was built December 8th, 1916. So wait, when did we enter World War I? 1916?
16, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, so this was made, so we call that over
104 years.
104 years old. So here we are winding the 104-year-old clock. This is the, looks like a lobster pot, actually. Not for cooking, never mind. So this is the, what is this part called, Joe? Is it a pendulum?
Pendulum.
Uh-huh. Like the pit and the pendulum.
And then this knob here does the fine adjust on your time. And I try to keep the time within 30 seconds. And I use my cell phone to check it.
Oh, of Greenwich Mean Time? Or within 30 seconds of John Lansbury's phone. All right, so here's the part that I think is cool. So these cogs and wheels and everything do the thing.
To keep the time.
And then it comes over to keep the time. Then it comes over to this, kind of like a drive shaft here.
And it goes up.
Goes up, and then there's like a splitter. Here, come around there. So one goes out here to that one, and one goes out in all four directions. So this thing is actually
Goes to all four faces.
all four faces, huh?
I haven't quite figured out what this is for, but you can open this little hatch.
Is it for like an episode of Laugh-In? You're like Goldie Hawn. You're like, ha ha!
And you have access right there to the hands. I guess if you needed to paint the hands or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've asked the professional watchkeeper in town, and he's not quite sure, but he says all the old clocks have it. And it probably was because 100 years ago we didn't have cherry pickers to go up to the
It could
clock.
be, yeah. It could also be they probably used this to, there probably weren't any revolutionary soldiers or anything. Or do they hang lanterns out there, one if by land, two if by sea?
Maybe.
That's what that's for. This would be like the Old Norse church. All right, next. Now the big question I have to ask you, John, are there bats in the belfry? Is that a belfry? Hey, Scumbria, has anybody here ever been in a belfry before? Because this is going to be a first for me.
We're up in the top of the Westmoreland bell tower. We just wound the clock.
And this is the town of Westmoreland. Up here with the 308, you could deer hunt. Are you far? How far do you have to be from another person's house? Would it count if you're in the bell tower?
I don't know.
And
I don't think vertical distance counts.
here's something a little that I think is funny, is that right here says WW 1956. So I'm assuming he painted it in 1956. The bell. Then over here, RBL painted it in 1937. Dick Smith in 1974. And then
RO
from this guy from Troy, New Hampshire, RO. He just seems like a vandal. He doesn't seem to have any good reason for being up here.
1:56, so we have 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Until we need to focus in on the striker.
It says here, presented to the town of Westmoreland, New Hampshire, by W.H. Proctor, 1917.
So a year after.
A year. So the question is, we should maybe do some research, or we'll let you do it. Put it in the comments. Who was W.H. Proctor, and why was he giving clocks and bells to Westmoreland? He must have been like the town father, right? Hey, is that guy that we were down that ballroom down below? You know what I'm talking about? That portrait? Is that W.H. Proctor?
I don't know. We could check.
That's the next thing to do. Remember that, W.H. Proctor. So, in case you've never been up in a bell tower, which we usually, these days you try and keep people out of bell towers, you know, the whole sniper situation, no. But right here, this large, I guess it's cast hammer, is going to strike the bell. And if you look there, what's amazing to me, see where it hits the bell right there? It's been banging on this bell for 100 years. Oh, look, they moved. There's this little scar right here. And then that's it. So they don't adjust it very often. But you'd think if you banged on a bell for 100 years, and how many times a day would it be? See how you have to do that? 1 for 1, 2 for 2. So add up all the numbers.
A lot.
So add up all the numbers and then times 2. So 12. I can't do this math. Someone do that. Put it in the comments. But all right, here we go. We're ready. Let's see. John says he's got this thing set for what time?
It's 1:59 now, so it's only going to strike twice.
Here she
I'm gonna
goes.
pull up my clock here.
Here we go.
So it should say 45 seconds.
45 seconds
I'm
till
not sure
striking.
if it's early or late, and there's some nice people walking by the town clock. They'll be informed that it's 2 o'clock in a minute.
Just yell out, 2 o'clock, all's well. They're like, yeah, the bell wasn't working.
And 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
15.
15 seconds.
I'm gonna lose my job.
I know.
10. 5. All right, it's not. It's gonna be tricky. Right there is 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
And we'll tell you when it'll be within a minute, I think.
What?
I hope.
When I'm done, I'm going to use the end of this GoPro and put an extra jing on and screw up everybody's day. They're like, it's 3 o'clock already? I haven't got anything done.
Uh-oh. 35 seconds late.
Oh,
Time to adjust the clock.
very poor bellkeeper. So we're 35 seconds late. So everybody in town is basically working an extra minute a day because of you and not getting
Well, they
paid.
get to get, see, because of me, they have to get in a minute
Oh,
late.
I heard something.
Oh, here we go.
Here it goes. you set it perfectly, or
No.
you got it set.
Well, I adjusted, but I haven't adjusted it in a couple of weeks.
In 2 weeks, it's only lost.
No, it's been like a month since I've adjusted.
In a month, so how long? It's lost what?
I think it was ahead like 15 seconds a month ago, but so it's still gaining time.
So just the same, over 104. What do we say? 104-year-old.
4-year-old clock.
104-year-old clock setup, and it's only losing a minute every month. So that's 12 minutes a year. But luckily, John has this job. So the crazy part is, John moved to this town, and now he's getting $46,000 in full health to take care of this clock. Is that true?
I wish. Town forefathers, please sign me up.
Apparently, it's a voluntary position.
Yeah. All right, time to go down. It's getting cold up here.
This ladder, as you can see, made out of old strapping, is, as we figure, 104 years old, which makes this much more interesting. All right, Scumbria, that was our clock tower tour with John. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it wasn't the normal Scumbria video, but it is Scumbria because, I mean, everything we do is random. I think on John's deathbed, he's going to leave the town a digital clock. It'll be a whole lot easier. All right, guys. See you later.